The latest buzz phrase coming out of social media is the concept of quiet quitting, whereby burned out or unsatisfied employees put forth the least amount of effort possible to keep their paychecks. The rationale for this workplace approach is that work is not the most important thing in people's lives, they shouldn't put in any extra time without compensation, and they should have freedom to pursue other endeavors outside of their employment. This concept really jumped out to me for a few reasons, mainly for its lack of newness. If you're old enough to remember George Costanza of Seinfeld hiding under his desk or pretending to be annoyed or looking busy to avoid assignments, then you know we've seen this before. The concept is also known as phoning it in, or better yet, the 80-20 rule, where 20% of employees are doing 80% of the work. The question is whether the 2022 version of this concept is somehow different, and whether managers and business owners need to take a likewise different approach, especially in the wake of the Great Resignation and with the growth of the gig economy. About 30 years ago, the concept of workplace happiness was non-existent. Employers expected you to be grateful for an opportunity, and you were expected to go the extra mile to get ahead. This meant coming in early and staying late to show your commitment. Workers would compete to be the last person to leave the office in the evening. And, of course, there was no expectation of receiving overtime for these extra hours. There were also many management styles that would not be acceptable in today's work environment. For example, managers were often encouraged to fire people when taking on a new position to show the team who was boss, even if it wasn't warranted. It was also acceptable in many companies to yell and berate employees for poor work, both privately and in front of peers. This type of tough love made the concept of quiet quitting much less appealing. Another management ploy was to pit workers against each other to compete for one promotion. Hopefully, you were smart enough to recognize the competition and who you were up against, and you had to battle accordingly. Workers were encouraged to pick up the pen and take on a new assignment that might be out of their job description, but that showed their commitment and desire for that promotion. And ultimately, if you didn't get the promotion over your peer, you were often a dead man walking. In the early 2000s, I started my own consulting business, about the time mobile communications really got going.